All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down one single piece of financial advice. It's so simple, but honestly, it's so powerful it could completely flip how you think about your money and your future.
So think about it. You get your paycheck, you feel good for maybe a day, and then poof, it's like it just vanishes into thin air, right? You paid your bills, you bought groceries, but seriously, where did the rest of it actually go?
You know that feeling? It's part of this super frustrating loop that millions of us get stuck in. We're talking about the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, and it's pretty much the main reason building any kind of real wealth feels, well, almost impossible.
Okay, so this is the way most of us are taught to handle our money. Step 1, you get paid. Great. Step 2, you pay all your bills, all your expenses. And then step 3, you try to save whatever's left over. But just look at that right column. Saving becomes an afterthought. And what's left for you? The leftovers. And sometimes that's nothing at all.
And that right there, that's the heart of the problem. You work hard all month, you do the responsible thing and pay everybody else, but at the end of it all, you're left with this sinking feeling. It's like you're just running in place with nothing to show for all that effort. So what if we just flip that whole process completely on its head?
And that brings us to the big idea for today. It's a huge mindset shift, and it's called the pay yourself first rule. And honestly, it's less of a rule and more like a declaration. It's you deciding what your financial priorities really are.
That's it. Just 3 little words. Pay yourself first. Before the rent, before the credit card bill, before you even buy a coffee, you pay yourself. Just let that sink in for a second. You become your number one most important bill to pay.
So what does that actually mean? Well, it's the habit of moving a chunk of your income into your savings or your investments the second you get paid. I'm talking before a single dollar goes to anything else. You're putting your future self ahead of your present expenses.
Now you're probably asking, okay, but how much? A really great place to start is just 10%. And before your brain starts telling you that's impossible, just remember, you're going to treat this like a non-negotiable bill. It's just as important as your rent.
So yeah, you can start with 10%, but the goal is to kind of work your way up to around 20% of your income. The most important part, though, is just to start somewhere. This isn't about feeling deprived. It's about systematically, paycheck by paycheck, building a real foundation for your future.
And let's be super clear here. Paying yourself does not mean putting money aside for a shopping trip. This money has 2 very specific jobs. 1, building up your savings for emergencies and for big goals. And 2, funding your investments, because that's how you actually grow your wealth over the long haul.
This all sounds great, right? But how do you actually stick with it without having to rely on, superhuman willpower every single payday? Well, the secret is to take yourself out of the equation. You make the whole thing totally automatic.
It's really just a simple 3-step process. First, pick your percentage. Start with 10% if you can. Second, and this is the absolute game changer, go to your bank's website and set up an automatic, recurring transfer. Have it move that money from your checking to your savings the very day you get paid. And third, you got to change how you think about it. This is not optional savings, it's a bill. It's a bill you owe to future you.
See, when you make it automatic, something really amazing starts to happen. You change the entire dynamic of how you build wealth. Saving money stops being something you just hope will happen if you have a good month, and it becomes something you've actually engineered to be inevitable.
The really crucial thing to get is this. We all think that building wealth is about getting that big promotion or landing some massive salary. But what truly matters is a pretty powerful distinction.
It's about how much of it you actually keep and grow. That's the whole game right there. Making a ton of money doesn't mean a thing if it all just flows right back out every month. By paying yourself first, you guarantee that you are keeping and, more importantly, growing a piece of every single paycheck you ever earn.
So this is the final big mindset shift. The old way, saving was random. Building wealth was an accident, something that might happen. With the pay yourself first system, it becomes a predictable, automatic process. Your wealth stops being accidental and it becomes inevitable. So I'll just leave you with this question. By taking this one simple automated step, you can change your entire financial future from a maybe to a definitely. So what would you do differently in your life if you knew that building wealth wasn't a matter of luck, but simply a matter of time?